Abracadabra, Kalamazoo.
I think we're here. Hello, everyone. Hello. Let's give everyone a second to get here. Here we go.
They'll be
Already
there.
Spike's starting. What is he saying? Not to put any pressure on the... now I need glasses to read. On the boys, the Ghost UK live stream for their new album starts at the same time. Will MCTV get more viewers? No. And I don't even like Ghost. I think Ghost is terrible.
Is that
just me?
That's a band, I'm guessing?
Yeah. Do you like Ghost? Have you heard Ghost?
Nah, never heard of it.
It is modern day Queen, in my opinion. And Queen sucks. Unpopular opinion, I'm sure. You like Queen?
I like Queen.
Queen sucks.
Well, you can have your opinion. I've also seen the satanic concerts that you go to in the pictures, and I'm not going to go to that either.
Actually, there's a couple good Queen songs, but I don't like them. It is just...
I think their earlier stuff, when they were more rock, is much better.
Yeah, all I remember what was on the radio, and that was like, it's like little kid, it's like the Beatles, it's like little kid music. But Beatles don't suck. I just don't. Anyway, hello everybody, and welcome to Model Club. What are we at? Oh, this is Model in a Movie. I have that on the brain because we recorded last night. Episode is already out. So, we have Ghost fans. I'm gonna get killed.
I don't even know who they are. So that, I mean,
I'm off the Christmas card list. Yeah, Ghost is terrible. They're terrible. Come on. What is good? I want someone sell me on Ghost. What makes Ghost awesome?
I'm gonna put them in my Spotify list.
They're the most satanic band. Fake.
Every satanic band is fake.
No, like there's real satanic bands.
Oh, come on.
There are.
Okay.
There are.
Okay.
King Dude, he's a Satanist. King Dude is amazing.
Oh, you know what? I've seen pictures of it. Yeah, this is what comes up on Spotify.
Yeah, that's Ghost. Yep.
I think I have listened to something. I think Dance Macabre, I think, is the song that I've heard. And the reason I think that is because when I had Sirius XM in my truck, the guy would drive me nuts because he called it Dance Macabre.
Oh, yeah, doesn't that? Oh, yeah.
And just freaking punch him in the King Diamond. Bill King Diamond is great.
See, here's the thing. I don't like my metal singers with high-pitched voices. I think that's my aversion. King Diamond's great. I just don't like his voice. It's not my kind of... I'm a lower... I want... And I like death metal, but I want the scarier. Like if you're a Satan band, if you're a satanic band... I'm sorry, we are so off the top.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Hey, if you're an evil, scary band, you should not be singing falsetto. Like if Papa Emeritus or whatever his name is, should not sound like Freddie Mercury. That's ridiculous.
Listen, I hate it. It's the voice they have is the voice they have. You know what I mean? What are you going to do?
Then go sing opera. Go.
He doesn't want to sing opera. He wants to sing what's in his heart. His heart is
Satan. Satan's in his heart. Yeah. All right. We recorded last night. I have a couple just tidbits for that. We had to record early because of some scheduling issues, but I'm leaving up the openings for the giveaways. So if you have not entered the giveaways for the models for the next episode, I'm going to record that later on, probably like Monday, as I'm editing. So if someone needs to still enter for the giveaways over on Model Club TV from the last episode, please go do that soon. It's going to close. We had a lot of people after the cutoff still start entering, and I'm like, no, guys, read the pinned post. So that's that. That was recorded. Just a heads up, we had George Salidas on talking about how to enter the contest this year and some changes for Wonderfest, and they're trying to get rid of that line that happened last year. So that's one of the things we talked about with George.
Which line? The
the model contest entry to put your stuff in the contest.
What about the one to get your shit and go home? I mean, get your stuff.
Well, that too. They're trying to figure out a better way to do everything. So he talked a little bit about that. We also had Dan Garden on of Sci-Fi Models and Stuff, and all of his new releases he's going to have there. So that's what the new episode is. And then, the usual garbage. That's there. But it's good to see everybody who's here.
Scott, man, don't call him garbage.
I mean, come on.
You brought him up. You've made him a semi-model celebrity.
I did. He was a celebrity long before he found me.
He was infamous, dude.
That is true. That is true. Who's here? Francis, Stormheart, Jerry just painted Monster Shop. Spike is here, of course. Trevor is here on time. Francis Bill Wilson was the first, it looks like. Let's see if we get some other people in here. How are you, Brian?
All right. We were talking a little bit before the show started. This is the time of year, and people who, again, I've said this before, but if you're not a teacher, there's certain things people who aren't teachers just won't understand. And it's knowing that summer vacation is coming, but there's this 8 week just swampy morass that you got to
Were you?
drag your
Yeah.
sorry butt through from spring break to that. And it's the worst time of year. It's
Yes.
horrible.
You just want to lay down in traffic pretty much every day. Like just
Yeah.
get it over with.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah.
it's been rough, but here's the funny thing. I'm thinking about doing summer school. So,
Don't do that. What are you doing? Why?
well,
Why? Why?
here's why. It's only 4 hours a day for 2 weeks, and I'd get like $2,500. So,
Not worth it. Not worth it.
I need flooring.
Well, okay, then it's worth it.
It's-
I have never done summer school. I have suffered. For people who don't understand, who think we have a vacation, we don't
do.
have a vacation. We only get paid for
9 months.
9 months, 10 months, and then you don't get paid over the summer. So unless you have the option of spreading your pay out, so you do
Which
get
is
paid,
That's what I
but you're
do.
still not, like, technically you're unemployed for those months that you're off, and
They
it shrinks
they
every
take
year. How much
yeah
time
they
you get.
take money out of my paycheck to pay me in the summer. That's what
Yes.
they do.
Yep. That's what they do. So it's
We're
yeah,
on a
it's
9 month contract. We don't get paid. So anyhow, yeah, I was thinking about doing summer school. Missy might do it too, because that would be what, 5 grand. That should cover the flooring then,
oh
and
good.
the counselor. And then I don't know, dude. I've never done it, but here's the thing: in 2 weeks, I would make what I made in 10 months coaching basketball, and it's not a
Perfect.
vacation.
Yeah.
Because I also have to write curriculum and prepare for the next year, so it's really not a
All
vacation.
right. Okay. You can't a vacation. It's not a vacation. It's
No,
unemployment.
yeah,
There's a
it's a break.
difference. I don't think people who are unemployed call it vacation.
Yeah, that's true.
Ah.
Anyhow, let's stop.
Anyway, yeah, we don't want to talk about work. We want to talk about movies. But before we get to movies and before we get to any modeling stuff, you and I went on different trips.
We did.
And let's talk about yours first. You went to a cool little cabin somewhere.
Yeah.
What was that?
Well, so first of all,
It looked
it's
like a murderer's shack if people did not see this thing.
yeah, I posted the picture. So if you guys if you haven't seen the pictures, go see on my Facebook page. It is the size of my living room. Um, it had a hot tub out back, but it rained the entire time we were there, so I couldn't even get hot in the hot tub with like Eddie Murphy. Um,
Or hot tub
we
time machine.
Yeah, there you go. Um, but it was down. It's about halfway between Lorraine, the Cleveland, Lorraine area, and Columbus. About an hour and a half. In a place. It's a castle. There's castles in Ohio, and there's like you can like rent them out there in the state parks and stuff, and you can rent rooms and whatever. And this one was a cottage called the Macbeth Cottage. I was like, I'm an English teacher, Macbeth Cottage. Let's go. My wife is English. Let's do it. And it was smaller than a room in our house, like I said. So we were cramped for 2 days, but we weren't here. We weren't working. We were, put our feet up. We read. It was nice. It was, except for the room. Like there was one chair. So
Note to self: bring folding chair next time.
yeah. Well, we won't go back to that one. We'll go. I try to find different places every
Yeah.
spring, but we got to relax. We found some. I don't know. When you go places, do you like to go to like local bars and stuff
Oh
to
yeah.
try?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you have to. So we went to a couple of nice restaurants and places that had really great food that just spot type food, bar food, whatever. But it was good.
So right before you left, you told me she was mad at you because it was supposed to be haunted.
Yeah, she thought I knew.
Did anything happen?
No,
No.
no. It was supposedly the most haunted cottage on the place, and
It looked like it.
yeah, it does. It really does. It is. I'm downplaying it. It was nice. We had a good time.
Yeah.
The Here's the thing we did find out though once we were there is it was 2 years ago featured on Gordon Ramsay's Hotel Hell because it was floundering and going to go out of business.
Yeah.
It was like a bunch of rats in the restaurant. and stuff like that. And so Missy's
Wait,
like,
did you
"Whatever
know
you
this
do."
before or after?
No, no, no. I
Okay.
didn't know that either. I didn't know about the haunting, and I didn't know about the rat infestation. But, but we really didn't eat at that restaurant. It was overpriced, dude. I don't. When you get a steak, how do you like your steak?
I am a medium, rare to medium person.
I'm a medium rare. I got my medium rare steak, and they poured gravy on top of it, like gravy with an
Like
onion
a
sauce.
Salisbury steak from the.
But it was a real grilled steak with a. I
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh.
I just spit.
Is
I was
that
like,
an
what?
Ohio thing?
No, I don't know. I've never had that before. I was like, what is
Was
this?
it
And
an
I
Ohio hot brown? Is that what that's called? Like the Kentucky hot brown or whatever those are
I
when we
never
go
had
to
it.
Wonderfest?
It
All
was it
right.
was terrible. It was
Anyone in
terrible.
Ohio know what the hell he's talking about? Why would they put gravy on a steak?
Yeah, I
Chat.
mean,
Anybody?
it's
What
closer to
is that?
Jamie's side than it is to me, so maybe he would know.
Yeah,
But
maybe
it was weird.
Jamie is a gravy steak person.
It could be. So,
I could see him
but
putting
yeah,
gravy
I'm
on a
into that.
steak. Although that sounds okay.
It wasn't.
It wasn't?
No, I saved half the steak and I brought it home and I scraped the gravy off and then I warmed it up and
And
cooked
then you ate it in bed.
it. That are
Yeah. There's my gravy. Get in me.
move over, Scott.
Oh man. I went to
Okay.
Savannah, Georgia. So
Yeah.
we drove from here in Chicago to Savannah, Georgia, which was we followed tornadoes the whole way down, like the whole trip, and then came back to flooding through Louisville area in Kentucky and crazy stuff. So yeah, it was a drive, which drove through Atlanta, drove through Nashville, like that whole Murfreesboro, spent the night in Chattanooga the first night, and then got to Savannah, Georgia. And that was a cool place. Like you said, you go there, you've been there before and told me I'd really like it. And we really liked it. Savannah looks cool. It is right up my alley. I'm sure in July it wouldn't be, but
I've
then
been there in June. It's just
yeah.
in June. It's warm, buddy.
Yeah, it was starting to get warm when we were there. But so we did there and we went to Tybee Island as well. And this is where my story is going to come in. We did do a ghost tour, like a walking ghost tour around town where he took us to the stops, told us the stories, which was kind of cool. Heard the story about the guy who x-rayed his hand over and over, who was one of the innovators in x-ray technology in this one building, and he would x-ray his hand until his fingers all fell off.
Yeah.
And so they've seen this ghost with no hands, like no fingers, nubs. And they called him Mr. Nubby. And then a couple other cool stories. But I had something happen.
Okay, this is good.
And I'm waiting for Bill to, call me a crazy person. You know what, Spike?
He's watching them instead of us.
You bastard.
I would honestly, I would too, and I don't even
Yeah,
listen.
I agree. If I was a Ghost fan, I wouldn't watch this garbage. I totally agree. I totally agree. So I had something happen. And this was the second time this has ever happened to me. We went to Tybee Island and we went to Fort Pulaski. Did you go there when you went there? The old fort from 1820, I think. So up and down. No, you won't. I actually, there's ghost songs that I don't mind, but ghost, it's not my, no. We're not going to keep going on this ghost. Now I have a feeling I'm getting ghost stuff in the mail. I have a feel like, oh God. So we go to Fort Pulaski, and it's one of the old forts that they build up and down the East Coast because after the War of 1812, they're like, hey, we need a bunch of forts to kind of protect everything. And this was one of those. And then they ended up using in the Civil War for a bunch of stuff. And it's one of those brick forts, cannons everywhere, up above and below, a moat around the whole thing. Super cool. So when you come in, you go over this bridge, get to this island, and you go to the parking lot, and there's a little graveyard on the property right there. And you go from there, you walk into like the welcome center. And then when you leave the welcome center, you kind of walk towards the fort. And I am crazy, but hear me out. We walk out of the welcome center door. It's broad daylight. It's like 1 p.m. It is not nighttime. It's 1 p.m. Like nothing's going on. Stand, and there's a little sign about the Underground Railroad and how slaves like use this place to escape. I read this sign. I'm totally fine. I turn to walk towards the fort up this sidewalk to get to the first bridge. And I just uncontrollably start crying. Like, just an immediate wave of complete sadness just hit me. Hi, Recognize. Should come in on a good time. And I just start, and Jamie looks at me like, what the hell's wrong with you? I'm like, it's happening again. And I am just like sobbing uncontrollably. And like all of my energy was just sucked out. Like it was and then I'm like, it felt like I walked on my own grave. Like it was one of those like, either I've been here before or something is like on me. And then it went away, but I felt so exhausted afterwards. I was just sobbing. It was crazy. And so Jamie and I go, Jamie, it's like the other time. So we went to San Diego. I was not listening to death metal. I was listening to nothing. I was literally walking on a sidewalk. We went to San Diego and we went to the aircraft carrier that's out there. And when you go in the aircraft carrier, there's like a museum inside of it. And everything's fine. I walk up, we go into this aircraft carrier, and I turn to my right, and there's a yellow airplane that I walk up. I'm like, man, that looks cool. And it's just hanging there, like just from the ceiling. And there's a little sign below it that says this airplane was used as rescue flights out of Vietnam. And I just kind of turned, sobbing, absolutely uncontrollable sadness, just crying. And I'm like, what the fuck? So that's what happened to me in Savannah. It wasn't like a ghost thing, but it was just instantaneous. You're going to cry.
So when you were telling me where you were going, I said, I have a story.
And I want to hear it.
Missy and I went on a ghost tour. Now this would have pre-COVID, probably, it had to be 15, 16 years ago. Because we go to Hilton Head and then we'll go down to Savannah and whatever. So we did a bus tour, and with bus tour, the reason we picked it was the only one at the time, and I don't think they do it now, that actually took you inside of a haunted house. So, and not like one of the goofy like plastic in the corner, but like a house that's been confirmed to be haunted, So we're getting off the bus, and there's two older women there, and they're like, I kind of help them down, whatever, because back when I was younger, I was nice. And Missy, like they made jokes about me being eye candy and all that sort of stuff, whatever. Because I mean, I get it. So anyhow, we go through and we're going through the tour, and you go into the house, you go down into the basement, and they had the original voodoo chalk drawings from the slaves back in the day, still on the floor. And so we go through, and that you can't walk on it, but you have to stand on the side. It was, you obviously don't want to walk on it, but we're standing there. We go through the house. They're giving us, and Missy starts feeling really sick. She's like, I need to leave. I'm like, all right. And they told us, if you don't feel well, just go back out the way you came in. So we go down, and people are leaving, whatever. We go down and we walk out. And as I'm going up the ladder, someone pinches my butt. And I thought it was one of the old ladies. And I turned around.
Oh, you couldn't be so lucky, man.
I turned around. There was nobody there. And I just jumped up. I ran up the thing, right? Well, you're not going to believe it. She goes, well, I was like, I'm telling you, my butt, it just got pinched. I thought there was no one there. There's no one who came out with us. They were just, I was like, this is ridiculous. She goes, no, I'm like, I'm telling you. And I was pale. She said I was pale.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's burning. It's hurting. So I kind of like pulled my pants aside, and she took a look. I had this red mark on my, like that big on my right cheek, dude. She's like, what the fuck? I was like, I told you. It's like, and it burned for like a day. It hurt for a day.
Right. Devil's advocate, could have been a bug. Could you have been bitten by a bug?
No, because it didn't swell, nothing like that. It was like someone like pinched and twisted.
Oh man.
It hurt, dude.
Yeah,
dude.
Oh.
So I've always believed in ghosts. I still believe in ghosts, UFOs, all that stuff. Yeah, it's.
I did have one other thing. We went to the Bonneview Cemetery, the big cemetery out there to walk around. Again, broad daylight. And I got one of those stupid phone apps that is like ghosts can talk to you through your phone app, whatever, probably all garbage.
Yeah.
So we're walking around, and like the third word that comes out of it just goes 20. And I'm like, 20? Like, what is that? And I looked down, and at my feet, there's a husband and a wife buried next to each other, and they both died in 2020, like at my feet when I got that, and I just went, "Huh, that's weird." And I turned it
It's
off.
time to walk out. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, "I'm done." All
Were
right,
you were you able to go into the house that took place for Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil?
we're outside. We didn't go in.
Yeah, see back then
Yeah,
again, we were able to do the tour inside and all that. It was it, dude.
we
Those
were there, and then I found out Forrest Gump's bench. That's where
yeah,
he sat on the bench, and the feather came out of the church
I
in the
thought
beginning of
everyone
the
knew
movie
that.
is there
You know,
too. The actual bench is in LA. They said now it's not actually there,
yeah, I
but
think they just have a bench and it's
yeah,
marked this is where he was sitting and filming the movie. I'm surprised you like him. He's we'll talk about that. We won't talk about that.
he's what?
Well, then he's
Wait,
nothing.
what's Forrest Gump? What are you talking
Well, we're not going to talk. It's
about?
not
Okay.
Forrest Gump. It's Tom Hanks. It's
Oh
you and
yeah,
your
he's you know.
because your people are great.
Oh, look up that volleyball. Look up Wilson the volleyball, where that comes from. All right.
No, I've already seen that garbage. Anyhow, let's go on.
All right. I don't know if I was gonna try and do something, and you can't see it.
Okay.
I was gonna try. How many people in chat have seen the new Predator trailer?
Oh, I've seen it.
Does anyone? Do you want me to try and play it? Chat, yes or no, or do you want to just talk about it? Someone vote. Should we try and play the trailer and see if we get demonetized? Well, it is not monetized, but let's see if we get a strike. I could try and do it. I do want to show a picture from it. Let's skip. Let's see what chat says. But yeah,
I'll try to slide it up a little so I can.
if you could just grab a picture, I'm gonna put this picture up on screen. Let me. I'm not even gonna print. Let's just look at the
Oh,
picture
there.
that I pulled.
Yeah.
So here's the picture. See if everything pops up right. There we go. Yeah, don't risk it. But here's the picture that everyone is freaking out about. Chat, what do you think of the new Predator? Well, Spike, I just spoiled the look of the new Predator.
Not
go,
really.
go watch your Ghost.
Dude, I didn't mind this picture. I thought it was pretty cool actually. It was more slimmed down versus the bigger, wider. I thought it looked good.
Okay. Chat, just paint it. Jerry says, ew. I don't know. He looks, Raccoon Eye says he looks cheesy.
Yeah, but
I
why?
am not convinced this is a he.
Could be.
I am starting to think this is a she. Which, if that is the case, I think the look fits. Because everyone, and this goes back to my boobs on the Predator. If that's the case, there's no need for a nipple. They would not have boobs. So, if this is a she Predator, okay,
So,
it makes sense.
I mean, I'm not a huge like super fan of Aliens or Predator. I like the movies. I watch the movies, whatever. I thought Prey was really good. I like that movie. Um, I maybe because I'm not a super fan or whatever, I saw this and I was like, this looks pretty good. I didn't
Yeah.
mind, and I can see, again, everyone who's a super fan is always going to have problems with.
And everyone wants to see it how they believe it should look. And I get that. Spike's saying it's supposed to be a teenager. I heard that too, which I get that if that's the case. Monster Shop, I print 1/1 Predators. I don't like it. It has human features. I'm with you, Jason. I also think it could be female. So that's the other thing. So that's the other thing I wanted to bring up. It has a human face more than, because if you look back at the original Predator, the top of his head, was way
Kind of
back
like a
like
cleanup.
this. This
He
looks
looks
like
like a
they
cleanup.
took all of that and kind of moved it forward and just kind of has a forehead, which it does. It looks too human.
Everything
And looks
changes.
very CGI, like models.
All changes. Who cares?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I think it looks. I really do. I think it looks good. I think it's going to be because it's the same people who did Prey, and you agree with me. Prey was a good movie. I think this is going to be good.
Mike, you make me laugh. All right, I think it could be okay. I'm withholding like my hatred until I actually see it. Because Prey was okay. There were certain things I thought were stupid, but it was okay.
There's always something stupid in a
But
movie.
I heard they were thinking of doing. I wanted someone. I don't know if someone wrote like a fantasy story or someone just made a post I read somewhere, but it was like a Predator movie set in World War One in no
Yeah,
man's land of like the
yeah,
Predator taking on like soldiers from World War One. I thought
that could
that
be
would
cool.
be an awesome setting for that. And I don't know where I heard or saw that, but
That
man, that's
that
what I was
came out
hoping for.
that came out right after Prey, and the idea was being pushed, at least online. That's what I saw too.
Yeah.
Uh, like they were going to go through generational thing type of thing, starting with that.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Look, if this is as good as Prey, and I liked Prey, if this is as good as Prey, hey, I have no problem with it. So
Yeah. Monster Chef said AVP gave human eyes to the Predator, make it more of a hero. Yes, I thought it looked super silly too. Dark Horse graphic novel. Was it a novel? Okay, cool. So that's where we're at on that. That happened. Was it yesterday? It came out that
day or two
trailer or
ago,
something.
something like that, yeah.
So I want to show this. Wait. Oh, wait. I think I lost the name. This came across my feed, and this is not something I could talk to Scott about. So,
Why does it require
yeah,
intellectualism?
it requires reading and an artistic sort of eye, and um, now I won't find her name. And I meant to write it down. Uh, where was it?
This is
Oh,
fun.
anyway, I messed it up. It's an
So
artist
what?
out of Italy, and she did this painting, and it's Claudia. I'll get her name by the end of the show. I meant to write it down when I was at school. It's a painting of Claudia from Interview with the Vampire, from the Vampire Chronicles. And did you? So they turned it into a TV show, and in the TV show, they made Claudia older and race swapped her and did all this other stuff. And to me, this artist captured. It's rare that you have an artist kind of capture what you think that a character should look like from a book. I saw this and I'm like, oh my god, that's Claudia. So if anyone has read the Vampire Chronicles, I love this painting of Claudia. It's
That's a good
fantastic,
painting. I like that, dude.
and it
That's
looks
pretty cool.
it looks just like her.
It
It
almost looks
just
like
bloody murder, and that's I mean it's hard. It's kind of has the Walking Dead problem where you have to have a character that's going to grow up. So if you're going to have a child in a show that's supposed to stay a child forever, you kind of have
yeah,
to shoot it all at once. So
do
I
that.
just wanted
Kill them
I
all.
thought that was good.
Kill them all.
Spike, you're right. The anime looks okay. There's a Predator anime coming out too. That animation
Yeah,
looks
that
okay.
looked good too. I agree.
Which you know what, animation is going to come up later in the show when we talk about one of our movies. I think so. All right, let's get into it. This is going to be a rare occasion
Yeah.
where Brian really doesn't have anything to show. So, Brian, any news? You buy anything? You paint anything?
I have I'll tell you what I bought. I bought paint, and I bought yeah, this out of the way. And I bought case of plastic struck
Oh
plastic
yeah. How much did that whole case run you?
$70
Okay.
on Amazon. And they're full. I know you had some issues with
Yeah.
their, but I will say it does smell.
You can smell it through there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had more, and I when you build sprue kits or plastic styrene kits, that stuff is fantastic. And I had an extra couple bottles that I gave you one when you stopped by a year or two ago, and whatever. I got that. Uh, that's pretty much the only new thing I have besides Tamaya paint.
That's awesome.
Building wise, I built this guy. This is the old MPC.
Oh, I remember trying to build that when it came out. And I got so frustrated, like as a kid. So
Yeah.
how did it go together? How
it 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 takes some finagling. Like the directions are terrible.
yeah, and as a kid, I did not have the patience, and my tester's
I did
glue
a good
did not.
job. I did a good job. I I used some of the pastels and stuff to dirty it up a little bit,
Yeah,
and and whatnot. My buddy at school cosplays. He has the suit of this, and I was like, you know what? This is one of I have the Bandai one upstairs. This is one that it's big. I'm running out of room, and I'm just gonna give it to him.
Yeah,
So,
cool.
and then I was working on the uh, Iconic Scenes Volume 4, the Wolfman with Abbott and Costello,
Hmm.
and I got the desk done.
Nice.
So,
How that
yeah,
was that? How many parts was the desk?
uh, 3. Everything's molded on except for this part and the phone handle. Everything
Hey, that
else is just
lamp looks like real metal, dude. Oh,
it's Pro Acryl. Of course, I can't find it right now. Oh, there it is, dark bronze.
okay, that's what that is. Okay,
And I agree, it came out really cool. And I used it also on the handles too.
cool.
And once I did it, it was, there's stuff. I wish they would come out with some gloss paints too. It just, but I put to make it glossy, um, Mod Podge on
Just
it,
a March Madness. Okay,
and it came out really. I thought it came out
nice.
really cool.
Yeah,
I am working on the figures, but I don't want to show
yeah,
those
I
yet.
got you. I got you.
Um,
Raccoon. She said she loves the biker scout. That is awesome. Have a gentle giant statue like this, except leaning against it. The bike, yeah, that does look cool when it's leaning on the bike like that.
and I started putting together. What's his name? Jordan. I can't remember his last name. He was when I lost my account, and then I lost my account again. I lost contact with him. He does 3D printing though. He did that big Ghost Rider.
Yeah, VS. It used to be
Yeah,
Vengeance Studios, but it's
yeah.
VS now.
So he did the
That's a
King.
good Kingpin of
Yeah,
D'Onofrio Kingpin.
yeah.
Hey, did you
So I'm
watch any of the new Daredevil? Have you? No,
not yet, not yet.
I heard it
Uh,
kind of tanked towards the end.
with
Anyone in chat watch the new Daredevil? Was it good? I'd like to hear something else. It's worth.
I look, I people felt that way about the second season or third season, whatever it was they had. I liked them, so
Okay, so
uh,
Predator Boobs has showed up in chat.
I got and I'm also working on
I hate you, Predator Boobs. Get out of my channel. Get out of my chat.
the Frankenstein monster with the it's the Jaeger classic. I showed that I got it before that Shadow Creations put out. So I got the base and I ran out of brown paint. So well, I got done and then I had to order paint.
I'm
And
having kind of the same problem. I have to go get a new bottle of something.
so I mean, that's the question. I do have a question for you. How
Yes,
do you feel about fire, model kit fire?
I don't like it.
See, that's the thing.
But it depends. You know what? Oh, I get.
Here, okay, like look at this. This is how they did this. Now, I it's kind of like everything looks realistic and that doesn't.
Agree. So that's why I
And
don't like model. That's why I don't. Anytime, and someone could maybe back me up on this. There's ways to paint fire right, and it looks okay, but it has to be sculpted right.
I don't think this is.
And it looks to me that looks too cartoony for what it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think the best way to do it is kind of what miniature guys do with some like batting for stuffing where they paint it with black and they airbrush it all so it looks
Yeah.
more like an explosion kind of thing. We just watch the next episode or right now go over to Monument Hobbies. They just put out these little painting guides
I
that are
saw
step
that.
by step, and there's one for fire that kind
Yeah.
of makes fire look better than what
White,
people think.
white, yellow,
Yeah,
orange, red. They did. Yeah.
so it kind of gives
And I
you the
think
layers.
the other problem with this is it's the wrong. It should be lighter here and darker here.
Those are
And
painted incorrectly. And it's funny because when I was talking, because I showed those on the episode last night when we were
okay.
recording, I said, hey, this is how you paint fire. A lot of people paint it backwards with the
Yeah.
lighter part at the top, where actually the lighter part is where the fire starts. So
White
what's
hot.
burning should be white and then slowly work your way up to almost black from orange, from red, from white, yellow, orange, red to almost like a black at that tip of the flame
And
to
it's
get some of that.
again. I like the kit. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. I've kind of just started, but I got the
And Sungar, he just said, that's what I was just gonna say. The only best way to do fire is to light it.
yeah.
Is to kind of actually make it out of light it up.
Yeah, I'm not very good with
But that's
electronics.
also why I love the Balrog from here we go, Lord of the Rings talk. I love the Balrog as a character and as a design, but he's made out of fire. And I've never wanted to buy a kit of him or a statue because it never looks right. Like
Right.
it looks like cartoony. It doesn't look like real fire. And then you have like some people make them clear and then they light it and it still doesn't look right sometimes. And that's why I've never bought a Balrog because it just
Yeah.
doesn't look right.
Yeah. So I was even Missy came down and I was like, "What do you think about?" And she's like,
Yeah,
and she has no skin in the game whatsoever. She's like, so I think I'm gonna hold on to these for maybe something. I don't know, but I don't think they fit the kit.
Models of Madness from the it's also said there's some blue in fire. Absolutely. It totally depends on what's burning because you
Right.
can change like there's again, yeah, there's blue in there. So it
So
totally, and I've seen other people do, and I got to find a really good, I found a good one, but I got to find a good way to show it. But like, if you have a flamethrower,
mhm.
that metal tip where the fire comes out gets that anodizing, like that almost rainbow look to it. And I
Yeah.
finally saw someone do a good step by step in that, and I got to find that because I was like, oh,
It's
that's awesome
usually
for like
I've
fire.
seen people do it in a couple different ways, but the best way is using transparent paints. That's
Yeah,
what
that's what they were doing. It was like purple, blue, black. I have to find it again, but
something like that. You know who does a lot of that is airplane builders. So,
yeah.
all right, what about you, bud? That's all I
I
have.
posted this on my Facebook page, and people that aren't on Facebook didn't see it. I finished my mummy.
Oh, I did
Ta-da!
see that. Yeah.
Finished my mummy. So
Yeah.
I'm happy with the way it turned out. I'm not happy with my photography. So I brought this up on the show that we recorded yesterday. I want to have a good photographer on. And if you know anybody that's great at taking pictures with cell phones and all these other things, I want to get someone on to talk about like, because when I look at this, it does not look like, when I hold it in my hand, I cannot get it to match a photograph ever. The one
I
thing that I've helped with my phone is there's another app you can buy, or not, it's free actually, called Snapseed, that does a lot of auto correction and auto white balance fixing and can like heal pictures and make them look good. Um, I thought Scott said he is finished with my mummy. Finished me talking about it, but I think it turned out okay. For This is from Diclick Art. Bust's only about like that big, so it's.
yeah. I
But thank
have
you. I was trying some new stuff, and
it
I
looks
think
good,
it
dude.
was
I
okay.
think it's I think it looks great in the picture even. I don't think
Lightroom. I'm gonna write that
I
down.
have a problem like when I'm gonna try to do something like that. Is that the OSL or
OSL. Yep.
OSL? I'm gonna
Lightroom. I'm
try
gonna
something.
write
But
that down.
anyhow, I have a buddy who I went to college with who is a photographer.
That could work. I want like a specific like model photography, like because I
Gotcha.
have a light tent. I have another backdrop that I just bought. I have my ot lights with. I wrapped them in that fabric to kind of make them softer, and we've had Mark. I went to one of Mark's things before.
Hmm.
His talks at Wonderfest, and Mark did come to mind. So I don't know if Mark will have time. So if anybody, I'll figure it out. Thanks, guys, for
They're they're in the last where is it? I, I think in the last issue of Fine Scale
Is there?
because they're having problems with people sending in pictures that they can't use.
All
Either
right.
the last one or the one before.
Okay.
Wow.
Adobe Lightroom. I wrote that down. I'm gonna check that out.
I'm
Snapseed is great. If anyone else has tried that, Snapseed works really well. Like it does, but it's just I don't know. I don't know
yeah,
the
I
best
can't
way to
find it
set
right
stuff
now,
up.
but check go to findscale.com. They might have you might be able to pull it
Okay.
and take a look at it. But
Um.
they were talking about, and I was showing Missy that they had pictures of what people do, and I was like, well, I said, this is what people do to take pictures of their models. She goes, I don't even have room for my models right now, let alone a freaking I mean, it was a huge
Yeah.
like
And that's what
thing.
I had a long time ago. I had set one of those up, but now I don't have room for something like that. So I'm trying to like, and I even bought like two light. I bought one of these small ones for miniatures that like folds open. Anyway, we'll figure it out. We'll get
Yeah.
there. The other thing I've been working on is my entry for Wonderfest. I don't want to show the whole thing, but I did do some base coating, and I had a problem. I broke something. Can you imagine that? I tried.
Dropped
So,
it,
dude, I was so pissed. So I started working on this. I base coated.
dude.
So I did my pre-shading on the tentacle parts. I'm not going to show the front yet. And this magenta will eventually be yellow. So I'm base coating in that. But if you see this, there's one little tentacle right here. And I couldn't find something. And right here, I have it just off screen, there's a camera. So I lifted this up to look for something that fell, and being a 3D print, this tentacle just snapped right off. And I heard it ping over here somewhere. Can't find it. So I just had to resculpt the end of that tentacle that's on his head, but that's what's going on
See,
there.
that's the luck that you have, the skill, I should say, because I can't. I have no skill set. Like if
I
it
think
breaks
it's
off,
very noticeable still. So when you see this at Wonderfest, if it makes it, tell me if you think
well,
the
I'm gonna
tentacle on
now
his head turned out
listen.
okay.
While I'm what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stand right next to it, and I'm gonna be like, God. Anytime someone else,
Look
that
at that
top
stupid
tentacle
tentacle.
just doesn't look right. What the hell? I would, you know what? This I thought
I
at first
hate you.
this was a gold. It's definitely like a merit.
Oh my gosh. All right. You want to talk about some movies?
Yeah,
Well, we did a 3 for this time.
we
And wait,
did.
did you watch anything extra?
I did watch something. I'm trying to pull it up. Okay. First
35
of all,
days, 42 minutes, 5 seconds to Wonderfest. Oh God.
I'm good. Uh, Twilight of the Gods, which
Twilight of
is
the Gods.
it's a Netflix cartoon animation show directed by your favorite director, J.J. Abrams. Um,
God.
and I'll
Is
be
there a lot of
damned.
lens flare?
No lens flare, but not
Wow.
JJ. Who did was it JJ Abrams who did the Rebels movie that we watched in
No,
slow mo?
that's Zack
Um
Snyder.
it's Zack Snyder. I'm sorry, Zack
Okay.
Snyder. And
Was
they
the whole
literally
movie out of focus then?
no,
Okay.
it was
All right.
actually pretty interesting. But what they did have
Wait, is this the
was
animation? Is it animated? Okay.
did you remember in that Rebels thing that we watched where there was a scene where the guy jumped off a thing in slow motion and 5 minutes later he did that in this too. I was like, what is and I like his move. I do, but anyhow, it was interesting. It was kind of cool what they did. You had Thor and Loki, and basically humans trying to kill Thor because he wiped out a village and all that. It's good.
Okay.
If you want to watch cartoons having sex, then you got that.
Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Nice.
So there's that, and then I watched Antrum, the deadliest movie ever made. And supposedly, if you watch this movie,
I know that name.
Antrum, Antrum, the deadliest movie ever made, and if you watch it, you will die within a day or so.
When did you watch it?
Right after the last show.
So you're still alive. Okay.
Well, allegedly, or maybe I don't know.
Or I'm
This could
talking to a ghost.
so. It's the idea is good. It's not a good movie though.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of boring. I was just sitting there getting my blood money, and I was like, yeah, this looks, and it wasn't. And I don't know. I like when you say something like that, it's got to be scary, and it's just
Yeah.
a girl and her brother bear like trying to dig a portal to hell to find their dog or something. I don't know. It was made 2 or 3 years ago. It looks like it was made in the 70s. It's got that grindhouse look to it without any grindhouse feel. So it just, I don't know. I mean, if you want to watch something that's a movie, you can watch it. But and then
I
I've
know
watched a little.
people. Hold on. I just found this. This is, if you go
I,
over to Monument Hobbies,
yep,
I'm just going to hold up my phone. It's not gonna, this is what you're looking for. There's these little tiny guides that have
yep.
the little paint guides.
They
Or
have
sorry.
four guides.
Yeah,
They
there's a
have
bunch of them.
purples, oranges, blues, and reds. I think. But yeah, I would, yeah, yeah. Models and Madness Run. Yeah, I mean, I was like I said, I was sitting there donating plasma, making my money, so I just was like, whatever. And I've also started watching Hi Adrian, and I started watching more of the Green Arrow. I'm up to season 5 now. I'm like
Okay.
using that, and so I honestly do. It's just I'm so busy right now.
I know.
It's
That's where I'm at. I haven't watched
cool.
anything extra.
So
I
yeah,
nothing.
and we both forgot to watch one of the movies.
We
I
both
we
forgot to
both
watch the opposite movie.
yeah, yeah. So
But we ended up watching both. We've watched
we're good.
all three. So let's
We're good.
I think we're going to start off with the one we both dislike. I'm going to take a guess. The one we dislike the most. And tell me if I'm right.
What are we starting with?
Hellboy and the Crooked Man. All right, let's get into it. Hellboy and the Crooked Man. So let's preface it with this. Brian doesn't like Hellboy. So let's start there. Brian, you don't like Hellboy as a character. So
yeah, I don't get it. I don't, and I'm not. I collect tons of comics. I have 38 long boxes over here and 5 upstairs full. Never got into it. I've tried. I've watched the Ron Perlman movies like a little bit. The beginning of one where he's a baby in Nazi Germany. I don't know which one that is. I've tried to get through part 2 with the fish guy or whatever. I don't know what that is, and I just couldn't do that. I did watch the entire one with my twin, David Harbour. Um, that's Adrian says I look. And I honestly, I can't tell you what happened in it though, but I know I watched it.
yeah.
And this one is, I watched this one too. So I, I just don't get it. I don't hate it. I just
So
don't get it.
I'm going to try. Okay, here's the character. This is why I like Hellboy as a character and as a comic. Number one, the art style. I love Mignola's art style. Like,
Yeah.
I love the style of it. Okay. The story of it, I like as well. You have a demon, for all intents and purposes, a demon, who is, his purpose is to destroy the world. But he's fighting that. So it's this, I'm supposed to be this horrible thing, but I'm going to try and fight everything to not be this horrible thing. Is your general, that's Hellboy, I think,
Okay.
as like that big of a story, you know? So he's trying to help the good guys defeat the bad guys and not be a bad guy. Always fighting that urge to be the bad guy and like powers that are beyond him, supernatural to kind of keep turning him in that direction. So he investigates all the paranormal. It's like, and that's what I like about it too. You have all these different paranormal stories that they go and investigate. It's almost like X-Files, but with a demon as your investigator. Okay. So, and I love the art style, and which is why I have now, this is 4 live action Hellboy movies. There's been some animated ones, and I don't like them. I've decided I do not like the live action ones. They look cool sometimes. And if you go back, and I challenge anyone, I know everyone loves Ron Perlman as Hellboy. It looks goofy as hell when you look at it now. It doesn't work. Hellboy does not, and this is, again, me, and I love chat to argue with me. Hellboy does not work as a live action character because, number one, you don't get the style. You don't get that art style that makes Hellboy Hellboy. Because if you look at this picture and look at this live action version of it, I want that underslung jaw. I want the kind of like the triangle looking body, like that real kind of weird shaped body. I love the cloven feet on Hellboy, which you don't get really in the live action ones. If they do, I can't remember if Perlman did or not. This one doesn't. He's walking around in boots. And I hate that. Like So it just, but I think this movie is much, and I didn't hate it. I just didn't like it. I think it got the closest to what Hellboy is supposed to be, but I was bored like through most of this. And it doesn't mesh well. That on top of terrible CGI, like terrible. And there's other parts that were really cool, but the very first thing was this spider in the beginning of the movie, and it looked bad. Like it did not look good at all. And there are parts where Hellboy is walking. I like this. There's a skin suit in the bed. Like there were some creepy parts in this movie.
Yeah, there is.
You know, and there's a hot, crazy chick, smoking hot, crazy chick in the woods in a tree. Can't go up that. But when Hellboy, I'm going to go back to this. When Hellboy is walking in certain scenes, you can see his chest suit like wrinkle up.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, come. And I get it. It is they were a very low budget. This was very low budget. And
Yeah.
it showed because they couldn't get the money to make it because the other ones never did what they were supposed to. And I don't know. It just doesn't work. I'd love to hear
So
everyone else's opinion. The story here was the Crooked Man, and this was based on a book as well. Crooked Man is collecting souls, giving them kind of their wishes, kind of your typical. I thought let me get to him. I have a picture here somewhere of him.
here's
I
what I
thought the
think,
Crooked Man looked pretty cool.
but he's not in it that much.
He's not in it very at all, but I like,
Yeah. But we've
the
seen that
look of
kind of
him.
thing before where, like where he cracks and all that. You've seen that 1,000 times in I think X-Files movie shows. And I mean it's not there wasn't anything like new in
Yeah.
this. I don't know.
Stormheart, never read any of the source material, so I like the Perlman movies. And it's the thing, I like the Perlman movies, but to me, it's not Hellboy. Like it doesn't feel. And I have a solution. So if anyone out there in movie Hollywood land sees this,
I'm sure they're paying
and I
attention to
know they've done animated ones, but I would love to see Hellboy done in the style of Arcane. So if anyone watched Arcane on Netflix, it is very CGI animated, where you have these amazing, and you could do Hellboy so good with it and have it come off as artsy and cool, where you could do the shadows, you could do the black and reds only. You could do like just the three color, like really monochromatic, like black, red, black, gray, white, like just that, and make it cool looking. Because if anyone hasn't watched Arcane, please watch Arcane. It is beautiful. And I think you could
so
do Hellboy like that in that same sort of style and have it look like a moving comic book. And it would be
I will
awesome.
that has been a recent um movement in comic books where uh it started with I want to say Superman. It was blue, red, and yellow, or something like that. So it was all blue, reds, and yellows, and then they had Wonder Woman gold and white. And now of course they're doing Wolverine, and they're doing Deadpool, and they're doing all the famous, but it's like black and red. And they did a Darth
Yeah.
Vader
They did a
story.
Warhammer. Warhammer did an episode of a little limited series like that where it was the Blood Angels, where it was all red and then
And
black
that's
and
fine.
white.
I'm just saying it's kind of at a point now where I've seen it so much. I don't even know if I'd enjoy that in the cartoon because
Yeah.
it's just
What Francis said, if you've read the BPRD, which I have, and Hellboy and the Witchfinder series, you may have liked it more. I did read, and I like that stuff. I just didn't like the way this looked. Like it just felt. Crooked Man, a license from a European production company, so the budget was much less. Shows Hellboy done Arcane style is expensive and wouldn't return the investment. Probably true.
maybe,
But things that are done really well, like catch on.
but here's the thing. I think that at this point though, it's um Adrian,
Francis said Superman with a mullet was so great. So great.
I've got a lot of the figures upstairs with him. I think that it's at a point now though, I think, where they've burnt
Yeah, it has to be a long time
you got to go a good 5 to 10 years, and then
before you
maybe
do another Hellboy
yeah.
anything.
It's like Batman and Robin, and then you put that off until you get to Batman Begins,
Yeah.
and look at the difference and how well it was done. So I
Your
think
daughter
that's
said
what we got to do.
Arcane is gorgeous. So is Blue Eyed Samurai. Blue Eyed Samurai is on my list. I have not watched that.
Both
And
of
so
those
is
are on
Francis. Francis gave me some movies to watch, and they're sitting there. I just haven't got to them. So that's Hellboy and the Crooked Man. I think it's worth a watch. What kind of grade would you give it, Brian? I didn't even
find my papers.
I'm gonna.
We're going Super Jake, aren't we? Oh, you're there.
Jank. I have my marker.
I got my papers. I found my papers.
We'll do this.
Um,
I don't have any papers. What happened to my papers? Oh, I just tore them up and threw them over there.
all right, I'll give mine. Ready? Here we go.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna write it on here.
Because again, I watched it. I didn't hate it. I just didn't.
C.
Yeah,
I'm going
just,
C.
It was for me. It was just another Hellboy movie. Like what I thought was here's when it really, really lost me. When that train derails at the beginning and Hellboy and the train and they roll down the hill,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And I know it's a stupid thing, but it right away I was like, "Oh no." It's rolling. They fall out of the train, but they keep rolling. The train stops above them for some reason, something that weighs 60 tons. They keep going down the hill, and they're for some reason they're right next to each other all the way down the hill. It's like, why are they next to it? Like
Yeah.
they should have been poof. I was like, oh, okay,
All
there
right.
we
So
go.
we do need to pick a kit from the movie though. And there's a good kit in this movie, but it's a Jason kind of kit. Can you guess?
I would do the um
Wait. Oh, I didn't get it.
Francis. I would do the skin suit, the witch skin suit on the bed or whatever in the basement. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. I want the floating girl with the snake from coming out of her vagina around her back into her mouth, doing this giant, just crazy loop of her floating there with that happen. Like there was some cool. I will give it this. There was some really cool like imagery inside there.
There is.
I think the Crooked Man would make a great kit. I think this looks the closest to what. There were shots where it looked just like Hellboy from the comic at times, and then there were shots where it looked nothing like Hellboy. That's what made no sense to me. I was just like, this is terrible. This is awesome. And it did not, there were times I'm like, no, I don't know. That's the kid I would want, is the floaty girl with the snake.
Yeah. I just,
All right. So
that,
Francis wants to know, by the way, who suggested Sting of Death? The reason we chose Sting of Death is because there is a model kit out from, card right here, Terrors from the Vault. And I didn't know what movie the kit came from. And so someone in the last episode said, oh, it's Sting of Death. I'm like, okay, I want to watch that. So
right. And it was on Tubi. So
yeah, it was on Tubi for free. I think you can rent it on Amazon. But let's get into Sting of Death, Brian.
sure.
Sting of Death.
The movie where 1960s people can't dance enough.
Okay. Was I right when I said you could fast forward through almost half the movie?
I told Missy, I was like, I said, this movie's an hour and 20 minutes long, and 15 minutes of it is people dancing. And 5 minutes of it is, I told her, I felt like I was watching Mutual of Omaha. It was like all these scenes of birds flying and fish swimming.
Dude, I want to do a fan edit of this movie that cuts the chase scenes down, the
God,
dancing down, and those Mutual Omaha scenes down. And you could have a really, really cool, short, quick, better
45-minute short movie. Yeah. Yeah.
And
the acting's terrible, but yeah.
Okay. Sting of Death, 1966. I think it is 66. I like this movie. I liked it for what it is. And again, we always do kind of a sliding scale. We understand this is not cinema. This is not an Oscar movie.
No.
But I really liked this movie. It made me laugh multiple times. I thought there was some pretty cool ideas in here that you hadn't seen at that time.
Dude. Yeah.
And so my first favorite part of this movie was the opening credits, which are what? 3 minutes, 5 minutes? So it starts off with the killer killing somebody. We'll explain the plot here in a second. But the entire opening credits was him dragging a dead girl through the water. Which, how cool is that? Like, it was, I'm like, no, they're not really going to do the whole credits. This poor dead girl floating, and he's just dragging her through the water. I was like,
yeah.
Okay, Ruth. That's kind of like, never seen it before.
They looked for Ruth for 15 minutes, too. Everybody who came up was like, where's Ruth? Has anyone seen Ruth? And the next person to come up, Engor, or whatever his name was.
Egon.
Has anyone seen Ruth? Like, it was weird.
He's like, I don't know. What are you talking about? Like, dude, I really like this movie. There's parts, it's so quirky. It's one of those movies I probably will watch again and again just to be like, dude, that's funny. So I this is awesome. This is awesome. The other thing, so someone said in the chat last time, and if you're here, stand up and point yourself out, who said that they had a special song written for this movie by Neil Sedaka called the Jellyfish Dance or something. Was it you, Sungar? Who said it? That was, like you said, 5 minutes of the...
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get there. All right, so so I watched an interview, or no, it was Last Joe Bob. The Last Joe Bob last month was about slasher movies. And there was a debate on what the first slasher movie was. And he seemed to think it was Psycho was one of the first slasher movies.
I agree.
This has to be up there with one of the first, because he's basically Jason Voorhees, but he wears I almost swore. A Portuguese man of war on his head instead of a hockey mask.
Is that really what he's wearing?
Supposed to be. But that's where Terrors from the Vault comes in, everyone. If you want it to look like it's supposed to, go buy this model kit. And I'll get their links up down below. And maybe I'll throw up a picture.
I'm going to buy one of these at Wonderfest.
If he is there, I think I kind of have to.
He's supposed to be there.
Okay. Because he made that look cool.
And
we'll get there.
Yeah, he did. He really did.
So the story is, oh God. Okay. This picture. Before we get to the movie, I'm like,
okay. Well,
I'm going to try and be nice here, which is very hard for me when it comes to stuff like this. Does this guy have skin cancer and they wrote in that he got attacked to cover for the skin cancer lump on his head?
Because it changes sizes and shapes.
That's what I'm like. That's what I didn't know. Like, did it start growing as they were filming? Because that doesn't look like a bump on your head. It looks like a giant cancerous mole. It was like in one of the first shots, he turns and it's just, I've got this. It reminded me of what's his name, Mole from Austin Powers.
Like, same thing. And honestly, I forgot to do it. I was gonna cut out a bunch of small little black circles, and I was gonna like put them on my forehead at different times, like different sizes. But it changes shape throughout the entire thing. It's only one day. It's one day, and it's.
France, what I'm having a hard time grasping is that this movie came out 2 years before Night of the Living Dead. Okay, that's another question I have. Hello, Raphael.
Yes.
Was this movie in black and white and then colorized?
No, I don't think so.
It was a color movie then?
Yeah.
Okay.
66 they had color.
Okay. So then, was Night of the Living Dead black and white
It was cheaper.
Cheaper? Was a cost issue? Okay. That answered my question. Thanks, Brian. Hey, so we have Mole Man, who is a father. And okay, we'll get there. There's so much to talk about. That's so weird in this movie. So you have the guy with the mole. That's an injury caused by, supposedly, we're guessing, Egon. We don't know because he was attacked, hit in the head with a wrench. I don't know. But he's having a house party. The kids are coming over to dance for hours.
He's a scientist. He's not having a house party. It's John.
I don't know.
It's weird, man.
I don't know. It's so weird.
Okay, explain this to me. How dumb are these people? How
Super.
dumb are these? Like, they set it up right away. Oh, Egon, he just sneaks up on.
Wait, is the killer the guy with the mutated face? Like, what? He instantly turns to the camera again, and he's all.
And dude,
I'm like, they can't make him the killer. He's going to be the soft-hearted. Nope.
And why is it that when he transforms at the end, he looks like he was in a Bukkake film?
That's what you said it, not I. Your daughter is here, and you can explain that.
She doesn't know what it is, and Adrian, don't look it up.
Adrian, look it up. All right. We have Egon, the sad sap of a mutant scientist helper guy, something like lab hand, boat getter. I don't know. But I kind of liked him. Like, he had some charm to him. And I get to the picture. It's the one that I was like, that's funny.
Sometimes eyes was closed. Sometimes it was open. Sometimes he was gray and you could see the lines of the makeup. Sometimes he looked more like what's in this picture here. Dude.
That's what Brian Francis just said, the same thing. At first I thought Egon's eye was fake, but in one scene it moved.
Yeah.
So someone's killing chicks. It starts off with that murder with the girl being dragged through the water. The sheriff shows up, talks to the scientist guy. His other helper, I'm guessing it was his son. I didn't pay that close attention.
I don't think
Or
it is.
I don't even know, or just the guy that works
No,
for him.
yeah, because that's his daughter is.
His daughter is the girl. Okay.
Right, because I mean,
That's right.
dude, if that's brother and sister, this is
I
some
don't
Luke and Leia going on.
Okay, so it's his daughter. That's the boyfriend. That's what it was. And then Egon, jealous kind of guy. You immediately are like, that's going to be the killer. But then why would they do that? There's no surprise here at all. So it turns out Egon has been killing people with Portuguese men of wars that are actually, oh man, I can't. And sending them to do his bidding. And he puts a giant one on his head that he wears as a weapon and defense mechanism. So he can scuba dive around, not even scuba dive, just swim.
Hey, this picture that you got right here now, that they had some good makeup at times, dude.
Say that because that's why I captured this picture.
Yeah.
I was surprised at this makeup job. I'm like, you know what? That looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
For 1966, that looks like a pretty cool dead guy that got stung by a bunch of jellyfish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thought it was cool.
Jellyfish can't kill you, by the way.
I'm on with that.
I don't think a jellyfish or Portuguese man of war can kill you. I don't think if you got stung with a bunch of them, it just stings and flies. I don't think that they.
I have a confession to make.
You peed on someone.
No.
You had someone pee on you because of a jellyfish.
Not because of the jellyfish. So.
Okay. Good night, everyone.
I have a new crush.
Karen?
The redhead.
Oh.
Okay. I don't even know what her name was.
No.
She's in every little shot of the dance party, and when they're fixing hair, this chick is smoking hot from the get-go.
She is our parents' age. She's probably 80
she's probably my grandmother's age at this point. But look at that! Shut up, Bill.
They had some pretty women.
Look at that! Come on, man.
The daughter, the girl in the pink in this picture, every so often she would make a face or whatever, and I thought she looked like Winnie Cooper from the Wonder Years.
I think I have a picture like that. I think I pulled one. I don't know if it's in there. Yeah, she looks like Winnie Cooper from Wonder Years.
Yeah.
So the girls come over. There's these murders happening, and it turns into your typical, there's a bunch of people. Egon starts murdering people with jellyfish and man of wars.
They dance. Explain to me.
I know what you're going to say. Go ahead.
What?
No.
What am I going to say?
How do jellyfish sink a boat?
That, number one. Well, he drilled a hole or something in the boat. They showed him.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
No. How do you get the swimming pool is super clear. The one girl goes in the swimming pool. He's in the swimming pool, and no one sees him. They're like, I think I saw something over there. Really? Look down, dude. It's a freaking chlorine pool. Dude, he would die.
So this was also one of my favorite parts. If you notice, if you watch the movie, all these people get off the boat and start having a dance party on the pier.
Immediately.
This guy in the red drinking the Miller High Life drops his beer while they're dancing. And is like, oh, he picks it up and starts dancing it. I loved it. It was so ridiculously and cheesy. Yeah, here's Winnie Cooper and Egon.
Dude, it's I love you.
Look at that face. That is like,
Karen.
He took this so dead serious and so awesome.
Dude,
and played it like, I love this character.
He tried.
Yeah. Look at this face. This one is the one that gets me.
Again, that looks like he has silly putty on his face.
But he's just creeping, watching them all have their dance party. And he's like, hey, I want to get in on this. And they all start chasing him.
Igor creature or Notre Dame. They beat him.
The next notable character is this guy. Tell me this dude doesn't look like Lip from Shameless, who is also in the Beef Show or whatever that show is.
Seen either of those, but he's weird.
He looks just like Lip from Shameless. And there's my redhead again. Okay. Look at her. Oh man.
Dude, have you ever been anywhere where people just randomly were like, "Let's dance"?
No,
And if I did, I would
I
leave.
would leave instantly.
Like, what is going on?
Oh man. Um, the movie was what, hour and a half on Tubi, hour and
Hour and 20.
yeah. So here's Egon coming out the pool after being chased with his man of war on his head, and then he's just walking around with flippers.
Oh, and how awesome was it where every so often, like his hand would look like that, but then it would look like a normal hand, and then it would look like the everything just dripped off of it. Or there were times where he's walking and you could see the flipper would separate from the, and you could just see the you. There you go, you got the picture. Fantastic.
Yep,
And
sinking
who
boat. And then we have to talk about this. Their
please tell me,
Portuguese man of war
right?
were
Please tell me
what? Go
that
ahead.
the kit has like the separation where you can see the human skin and stuff. Oh, I'm if I when I get it, that's how I'm painting it. It's gonna
So
look like crack
his
bags,
army of Portuguese man of wars
bags of
are
crack floating around.
sandwich bags filled with like foam. Like it
Dude,
cracked me up so bad. I was like,
oh,
no,
I
dude.
was laughing at this part. I'm trying to donate. I'm squeezing my hand and I'm laughing. And the one guy, he's like, "Yo," I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like smacking away at it, and they're
I know.
jumping, and they're freaking out, and they're not even around them. They're not moving. They're not doing anything. It's ridiculous.
So then Egon has a secret lair, underwater secret lair where he's been bringing the dead chick. And then I like the lighting in the secret lair, and we'll get to that in a second. You see some of the purple on there with a giant control panel that controls.
Right
And
out of Batman.
he takes this giant Portuguese man of war, keeps it in a tank. I'm trying to get to the look at that. That's after he takes it.
It's so funny. It's so funny. You know what this movie is? This is if a bunch of people were like, you know what? We really, really like Creature from the Black Lagoon, but we don't have a good cast. We don't have money. We don't have a script. We don't have anything except access to a mansion, supposedly in the Everglades. Um, so why don't we just get drunk and have a good time and make this movie? And this is what came out of it, and it was awesome.
I agree with you completely. That's exactly. The next
Yeah.
thing we have to talk about are the airboats. It
Oh
was
my God.
endless scenes of people jumping onto the airboat and driving for minutes. There was what? This chase, the airboat chase was what? 5 minutes? 10 minutes?
It
Felt like
60.
forever. So you had that chase that went on forever.
Or how
And then,
about when they go into the Everglades and they're looking for the one girl, and they're walking, but then they dive and it's like 70 feet deep. Like they're just walking. And then, but like, so, like
so
what?
here, look at this. So there's my redhead again. When she gets it finally, this chase scene, what? It goes again. Another 5 minutes of her falling in the mud, which was okay.
Okay, but again, she's walking into the Everglades and they're diving to find the body. Like it didn't make any sense, dude. It was ridiculous.
Here's my favorite shot of the movie. I got it captured.
And he just showed up. They're like, again, this is how dumb people like. I don't understand. She's sitting there, and he just shows up in the middle of everything. Yeah, she's not even aware.
Oh man. Yeah. Here is more. There's Egon after he's captured Winnie Cooper and being chased by the other airboat in the back with the guy with the short white shorts.
Dude, how about the dad? He jumps on. Okay, there's only one other freaking airboat. Yeah. And you can see them in the background. They're 30 feet away, and then somehow they lose them.
It's that tall Everglades grass, dude.
Yeah, I know. And then
you know what? Before we go any further, I want to thank Chris Wooten.
Yes.
Thank you, Chris Wooten, for making this kit and making me watch this movie because they cracked me up so bad.
Dude, he spins in a circle like he lost them. Then it shuts down for some reason, and then they start cleaning spark plugs. What are you doing? what are the spark plugs have to do with it? I don't understand.
So at first I thought it was Egon rubbing the cream on his face to like keep himself from getting stung, but when he took it off before, it wasn't on there. So I'm going to leave this picture here.
We know what it was.
If you don't, you can go look up the term that Brian said earlier. If you don't know what that means,
Don't.
it's fun. It's good times.
No. Meatface was into it.
I loved it. And here's the final creature.
Dude, okay. When he's fighting John.
Here's the picture.
Dude, when he's fighting John, have you ever seen such lack of action as jumping back and forth over the hole and with the flare?
That's a picture I got up right now.
Dude,
I loved every second of this. And like I said, I wish we could cut those chase scenes down because it would be such a better movie.
That and the dance scene. You could just get rid of the dance. They don't need to be
the jellyfish. Oh my God. All right. Let's talk about the kit. If we were going to make our own kit from this movie, would we have done something different than what Terrors from the Vault has done in making a kit?
I haven't looked closely at his because I wasn't sure if I was going to buy it. After seeing this, I'm going to buy it for sure, 100%. I will say that if I were to do it, and I think it has to look completely fake. Like I told myself, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to paint it black rubber. I'm going to do a green wash over it. And somehow or other, I don't know, maybe Tamaya smoke or so. I don't know what. I'm going to do something so you can't see it. I was already breaking it down in my head how I was going to do this because it's fantastic.
Francis just said, is that the picture taken for the kit? Let me entertain the crowd for a second, Brian. Well, I'm going to pull up.
Entertain the crowd. So at the end, after the fight, John, the shirtless wonder there, he and for some reason Karen keeps wanting to save him. I don't understand. She's like, "Oh, we got to save Egon." I don't get it. He kidnapped you and tried to, I don't know, like put jellyfish juice on your face. She keeps trying to save him, and then there's a line, and I don't know if you caught it or not. He says, Egon goes, "You got to get out of here. The whole place is wired." What is he talking about? Wired? Why is it wired? Did you catch that? Like, why is it wired with explosives? Like, what are you talking about?
Oh my God. Because he knows he's going to get caught one day. He has to have his dead man switch.
I'm telling you, that's a Batman 66 switch that he had there. It's a giant, and they just turn off the switch. Somehow he drops the flare he's fighting one of the worst fights ever. He drops the flare into the giant jellyfish thing and tank, and it kills the jellyfish on his face, which makes no sense.
All right. So I got a picture. Here's the kit, Francis. There is Terrors from the Vault has released this model kit. So what they've tried to do with their kit line is kind of take these B movies and make them a little more realistic than what they were in the film. But if you look closely, Brian, you can see the flippers in the feet down there. So he's got the swimsuit, the wetsuit showing. You can see some ankle.
I'm all in.
Dude, yeah. And this doesn't do it justice because the Man of War is actually cast in clear. And so you can see his face through there. So yeah,
he did a much better job than they did.
Man.
I said, I just watched a movie where a guy in a wetsuit and a plastic bag on his head was a monster.
Francis, how did Egon get the equipment to play how did he get it to place underwater and still work? So he had to swim all that stuff underwater and up. That is a very good point.
I didn't even think about that. I was thinking about why were there all the skulls on posts in the thing? Like, where are those people?
Egon's been murdering for a while.
Yeah, they did say people have been missing. That's true.
My kit is this. Just the girl with her underwear showing in the water. That's all I want right there.
Oh my God, dude. Come on. That's not underwear. That's black water.
No.
No, you're wrong. Ooh, I'm going to perv out all
this girl, man. She is smoking. Look at that. She is smoking out. All right. Sorry. I'll stop thirsting for the girl from 1960. Okay.
I would I would create a diorama of in the Everglades of the two flyboats chasing each other.
I even while I was watching it, I'm like, man, why are they obsessed with airboats? So I looked up to see when an airboat was invented to be like, was this a new thing that everyone got in Florida that year that they're like, look how cool these things are? And no, it was from like almost 100 years before this movie came out that someone
It's
hooked
so,
a giant fan up to the back of a boat.
it's so bad. It's so great. It's so bad. It's so good.
Oh man.
Oh
That
my
could be,
dude.
Bill. Could be. Um
What did you say?
you don't want to know.
Oh,
Uh what
poor Bill.
grade are you giving this movie?
People are gonna laugh at me. People
Probably me
are gonna
too.
they're thinking I'm lying, but I'm not lying, dude.
Look at that. B plus. I went A.
Yeah.
It is a
Oh,
A movie for me because
yeah,
of
yeah,
what it
yeah.
is. It is a good B movie that's just ridiculous fun.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't dislike movies like this. This made me feel like when I was a kid watching movies on in Lorraine or in Cleveland area. There's a channel back in the day called Channel 43, WUAB. They play favorites. And that's the first place I saw The Thing, Escape from New York, Halloween, all these. That's what they did, the Friday night
Yeah.
movies. And it made me, I had that feeling, dude. And so I told Missy it's the best bad movie I've ever seen. It is.
All right. I just want to give Terrace from the Vault a little shout out here again. Terrace from the Vault at gmail.com. So Terrace from the Vault at gmail.com if you're interested in that kit. And then they're on Instagram, Terrace from the Vault. You can find them there. They also have a website, terracefromthevault.com. So
And his
great
stuff
stuff.
is really good.
Oh yeah, and I got the green slime a couple years ago
I've
too.
got the
So
green slime. It's big. We got the big one. Jamie Sy did his. It's smaller. And
should we watch Green Slime?
I, listen, at this point, I just watched it a year ago.
Okay,
So
so no, we won't do. Maybe I'll
yeah,
watch it and we'll talk about it a little bit.
I haven't. It was on YouTube. They took it off.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's where I watched it. I would rather watch. So, what does he have? The green slime blob,
I
right?
was watching the Beach Party one. Is the other one I think something. And
I
I was
think we.
watching that the other day. It was on for free on one of those free Tubi channels as well.
I, whatever he's doing, we need to watch because I honestly, his fantastic.
We'll do that. You know what? Over the summer, let's watch that Beach Party one because it's a summer movie.
Sounds good.
Oh, I don't have it here. I had an idea. We'll do it next episode. We have one final movie to talk about.
Yes, we do.
One final movie. So
I chose this one. This I have the Blu-ray. I hadn't watched it. I bought it. I just sat upstairs and
so tell us the story. You set us up.
Christopher Robbins. We all know who that wonderful young lad is.
For those who don't know, it's Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Pooh, Blood and Honey. Yes. Uh, Christopher Robin is the boy who played with Pooh and Tigger and Eeyore and Owl and all those characters and
The boy who played with Pooh.
and he goes off to college and as a result Pooh and Eeyore and all of them go hungry, Tigger, because Pooh he would bring Christopher Robbins would bring them food. Now this is all done in cartoon at the beginning.
So I have that picture up now. Just a quick. It's done like a little sketch style.
Yeah, yeah,
Telling
and it was cool.
Yeah.
And they take an oath of silence and vengeance because they're so hungry they eat Eeyore and
they ate my favorite character.
they eat Eeyore, dude. And it went from there. And 5 years later, Christopher Robbins comes back with he says wife and fiance, so I think it's what anyhow. And Pooh and Piglet, who are the two main killers in this, kill her. Piglet strangles her and pulls her back and breaks her neck, and it's fantastic. And Christopher Robbins you think he's dead, but he's taken prisoner and whipped with hair. It looked like hair. I don't know what it was exactly.
It was hair. It was hair.
Yeah. Okay. And somehow the hair ripped his skin apart, which I don't think that would happen. But anyhow, and they leave him hanging there. And then one girl. I can't remember their names. It doesn't matter. They're all the same. They're all British too. Which, dude,
Okay,
I mean,
that was a question right up front. Is it British or Australian? Could someone in chat look
I
this
think it was
up
British.
or tell us? I don't know.
Listen, I think it was British, and I'm going to tell you those two British accents and Australian accents. They do it for me. They do it.
Man,
Yeah,
poor your poor daughter.
I Yvonne Strahovski. Do you know who she is?
No, I don't
She
think
was on the
so.
show Chuck. Uh, Look her up. They call her Yvonne Strahovski. That should tell you all you need to know. But she's got an Australian accent, and Missy and I would watch. I don't care. I don't even remember what Chuck was about, but she was on there, and it was wonderful. But anyhow, so they are renting. She has a bad relationship. A stalker guy is like following her, the main character girl, and so they get her friends, and they go and they rent a cabin, and it's cut off from the world. It's at 100 Acre Wood, and chaos ensues because Piglet and Pooh, they're going to get their blood and honey, and they do.
Okay. Has anyone seen the sequel? Because there's a sequel to this, right?
There is. I haven't seen it yet.
I was wondering what happened. Where's Tigger and where's Owl? Like, was that?
Okay, so
Are
I
they
know Tigger's in the sequel. I do know
okay?
that.
That was my question. All right, all right.
But now you know that this has spawned a whole series. Like there's Popeye the Slayer Man. There's the Mousetrap, which is the Mickey Mouse. Well, the mean one is from this also. There's a whole, but
Yep.
this, yeah, this, this. I don't want to ruin my take on it, but anyhow, it takes on a very dude. There were scenes in this like where they're showing the wood with the light going through it and everything. It was really well shot.
I thought it was well shot too.
There's some really good cinematography in this movie. Like there's the like there's great use of light and dark, and yeah, I thought it was really good
Yeah,
cinematography wise.
I think so too. I think there were some pretty good shots.
Good
Some.
good
Now
deaths.
keep going. Like I'm trying to get to
There's good
like this.
deaths.
I thought was a really good shot of Pooh just standing there, creepy in the middle of the woods, kind of thing. Like there was some really good, just creepy shots, and like surprise your typical slasher kind of like the guy
Yeah.
disappears, comes back. Like this is your Michael Myers standing off in the distance kind of shot, which is always a creepy, cool slasher picture.
Can I tell you what this I felt that what this movie did was it out Friday the 13th, and it out Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the recent Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. I did. It had the feeling of the campground type feel, but at the same time you had like the House of Horrors in the 100 Acre Wood. It's a yeah. I thought that this was better than the recent editions of these movies.
I agree. I agree. I was shocked at how violent it actually was.
Really violent. Yeah.
Like brutally violent. And this is the part I have where Pooh's feeding that chick into the chipper. But he first kills her by just taking her head and smashing it on the corner of that metal thing over and over. And I was like, okay, we're going that far. Like, I didn't think I thought it was going to be more like kill, blood splatter, move on. Kill, blood splatter. Like
the mean one.
Yeah, like the mean one. I thought that's exactly what I thought it was going to be like. This was far more bloody and violent than the mean one. And it was done pretty well. I thought, like for what it is, I thought it was done really well.
Yeah.
You have your typical, here's another redhead in Instagram chick.
You know what this movie did that horror movies don't do anymore? Gratuitous boobies.
There was gratuitous boobies.
You don't see that anymore.
Nope.
It was like they just ripped her shirt off for no reason.
For no reason. There's some boobs.
Yeah, they killed her.
Totally.
1980s.
Yep, total 80s feel to it with that.
Yeah.
Here's Piglet on a stationary bike running the electricity, which I thought was ridiculous and funny.
It's awesome.
Here's Christopher Robin chained up again. I got that picture. Here's Pooh drooling honey everywhere, which it's kind of cool. Like,
because he's dripping it in her mouth and it's getting the blood and honey, and it was good.
And we find out later that he has the power, the ability to control a swarm of bees that attacked that one hillbilly English guy. I don't know. Do you have hillbillies in England? I don't know. the Me Too movement ruined all that. That's true. It totally did. Yeah, we need bring back gratuitous boobs. No reasons, just to have some boobs. Just that's it. And speaking of, here she is in the hot tub, and I thought this was a cool. Her and and they show up behind her. It was a cool little, just like they're out of nowhere, they just creep up behind her, and they end up.
But you see him coming, so it's not even
No,
scary.
no,
It's not a scary movie.
But my
It's
second favorite shot of the movie comes right after that, and it's Pooh behind the wheels of the muscle car.
Who would have ever thought Winnie the Pooh driving a car would be as awesome as this is?
Yeah. So Trevor said it sounds like the Banana Splits movie was better. I have not seen the Banana Splits movie.
I saw it once. I need to watch it again, and I disagree.
Okay, there you go. And then they roll over her head, and her eye pops out. It's great. I won't leave this up for long.
The only thing that would have made that better would be if Pooh and Piglet high-fived in the car over way.
When he smacked this girl in the head with the sledgehammer in the pool,
dude.
Now, granted, there's a lot of digital effects, but it was done real. It was brutal. It was done really well. I was shocked at, again, how horribly horrifying some of this was. I don't have it anymore. Here's Piglet tied up right before she gets a machete in the mouth.
Yeah, it's poked up on the wall.
Oh tree. So it is mindlessly violent, but I wanted to ask you this question. If anyone knows this, please answer. So here's Immortal Masks, right? Immortal Masks run by, what's Andrew Freeman, I think, who was on this season of Face Off on Sci-Fi a long time ago. And he had a mask company called Immortal Masks, even back then when he was on the show. And they do silicone masks, like really nice silicone masks. And he had the Pooh mask, Honey Bear, come out. Yeah. And my question is,
that's it.
What came first? I want to know I want to see if we can get Andrew Freeman on the show maybe one day.
That would be awesome.
Did they make the Pooh mask for, and if anyone knows, please answer this. Did they make the Pooh mask for the movie, or did the movie just go, hey, that's a funny mask, let's try and make a movie around that, and then take the mask and put it in the movie? That's what I want to know about this. That's like my one lore piece I would love to know.
Chicken or the egg?
So, but it's $675. Brian, you have the right build.
I could do it.
You could totally do it. Some overalls, flannel shirt.
I got a flannel shirt. Let me go get pumping. And that's what I'm saying, dude. He has the look of Jason.
Yeah.
It's a Friday the 13th movie. And I'm dead serious. The last Friday the 13th was okay. It was all right. This is better than that. This out Friday the 13th, Friday the 13th. It really does. I thought it was much better than I thought it was. Yeah. I was expecting Mean One levels of. Me too. I'm not gonna lie. I honestly, I'm glad that I'm glad I have the Blu-ray because I can watch it now whenever.
Yeah. So maybe we'll watch the sequel in the future. Chat, what do you guys think? Did anyone else see this? Dude, cosplay at Wonderfest. Dude, if you show up in the Pooh outfit.
If someone buys it for me, I will.
Yeah, that's an expensive
$5.
Man.
Hey,
cool.
Are you going to go to Mask Fest in Cincinnati again?
So I don't know. I have other stuff going on in the beginning of September, and it is a trek to go out there for just. So I'm mad they moved it, but if I do, I will let you know.
Okay, there's that, and the other thing is when we were at, and this is completely off topic, but I'm thinking about it now. When we were at the Ray Bradbury show, you're like, hey, do they have anything by you? Blah, blah, blah.
Ray Harryhausen, not Ray Bradbury.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Oh, dude, I'm fried.
Trust me. I know.
Ray, so you said, hey, is there any things going on by you? And there really wasn't at the time. However, I just saw that starting May 11th at COSI, which is the Columbus Science Institute. It's a science museum. I'm sure you've had one by. They're doing a unofficial Star Wars. I think it might be props, or I got to find more information. But it starts in May, and I think it goes through June.
Okay,
so maybe. And Columbus, I mean, it's right in Jamie Si's backyard. We could all go to Jamie's house and hang out.
Oh, I don't think he'd like that.
Pinball, baby.
Just show up. Greg Damian said he saw this and enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. So, Brian, what grade will you give Pooh and Blood? Well, no. Let's do model kits. Let's do model kits first. So why is it like? Hold on. There's
I
gotta be. Let me go to cult.
there's got to be what
There's gotta be someone did it. Has to have done it. That's right?
I'm sure. I'm sure. Um, I would say honestly, just a full figure 1/6 scale
Yep, there is.
of Pooh and Piglet next to each other, just like carrying like weapons. That's all I need. That's all. I don't.
Someone,
It
I
doesn't.
think someone here. I just found it, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Oh, you'll see
I've
it when
got.
I be able to put
I've
it
got.
up.
Well, I've got
Let me
YouTube.
go to this. I've got
Seriously, that's all I need because it's so well done, and you can mash it all up and
so
have a great.
someone did do. This is kind of. It doesn't look right. It's not perfect, but just him standing there, like with a what, like you said, just your
Yeah,
typical, just standing there with a
it would
weapon
be
kind of thing.
12 inches tall or so.
Yeah,
Um,
there is one. There's
you know
something.
what though? That doesn't look right because his head's too big.
Listen, see what else.
Oh, that looks good. That
Ooh,
second
got
one,
some of these.
that looks good. The purple one that you showed. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, some.
Dude, I mean, yeah, I would in a heartbeat. I
Wait,
would
what is this?
do
Oh, it's to
busts.
make like them. Oh, that's no. We're not gonna promote that. That screws up more of that.
Oh
These little
no, yeah, we're
rotating. I
not doing.
think this is the same guy that did. Oh, look at the same guy that did the little Sam. Uh,
But dude, it's phenomenal. It's
like a
but yeah,
little
just the
plaque. Maybe I'll
figure. That's
print
all
some
you
of those
need.
up. Yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it. So, what grade would you give it? I would no kit wise. I want a model car with Pooh driving the model car.
You know
No, I'm
what?
just kidding. I think you're
No,
right.
that's not. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. That would be cool. And
That
you
would be
could
hilarious.
do a diorama with him like driving
Yeah.
over body and the blood. That would be awesome.
Oh man, I'd like to see. I like the bee angle. I liked him having a swarm of bees that go with him. Like if you wanted to step this up even crazier, constantly just have a swarm of bees around him. So you
Yeah,
couldn't even as like an armor suit of not like
Candyman.
like the bee suit guy or the bee beard dude, but just have this constant of bees around you. How cool that no one's gonna fuck with you ever. Like it would
Yeah.
just be.
Did he talk at the end?
He said something, and I was, you know what? I don't.
I didn't catch
I
it.
think he's what I thought he said, and I went back and rewound it. I thought he said you lied, but
Okay.
he just went like you, and I
Yeah.
couldn't.
See what I wanted
Oh,
was
we didn't even talk about the ending.
okay. Well, okay. So let's do that before we grade and all that. So first of all, I was hoping he would say "Oh bother" because that would be awesome. That's number one. Number two, the ending. This has a
Oh,
Jason
wait a
Walker.
minute. I gotta get our chat back out. I accidentally popped our chat up. I accidentally closed the chat. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
So this has a Jason Walker ending. This has an
It has a
ending
very Jason Walker ending.
where Christopher Robbins helps the final girl, and you're like, okay, Chris and the final girl are gonna make a run for it, and Pooh's like, no, Chris, good luck, but I got this girl, and he doesn't just kill her; he eviscerates her. I mean,
It's
he just goes to
dude.
town.
I loved it. I was like, okay, good. Jason Walker ending. It was
Yeah, I thought the
totally
same thing.
subverted, murders that girl when you think she's getting away, slits her
And,
throat, lets her bleed out. They show the full bleed out on camera, and then he stabs her in the head 50 times.
dude, and then he like looks at Christopher Robin while he's doing it, like, yeah, what's up, boy? What's up? What's up? And the movie ends.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
All right. So Bill said, I saw it. It was awesome. Monster Shop, Pooh and Piglet at a table eating Eeyore's leftovers. Yes. Dude, I want, why did they have to eat Eeyore, man? That's my favorite character.
How about the fact that like how cool was it when Christopher Robbins was hanging there? They walk in and they just throw like his wife's skeleton on the table, like
Yeah. Yeah.
it was
All right.
good, dude. It was good.
I'm giving it a B minus.
Okay.
That's not a bad B minus. That is a
Yeah. You ready
pretty
for
good.
this
What
one?
are you doing? All right, there we go.
And I'm dead serious. I will watch this movie again.
Yeah.
This will
I
become a Halloween staple for me.
I I was
I
fully expecting the mean one.
Me too. I was really worried. I was worried. I'm so happy it wasn't that because I feel like I let people down when I gave them that, but that
Yeah.
was really Adrian, so I blame my daughter.
So we have a C, an A, and a B minus for me. Brian, you had what for all three? Do you remember?
B plus, an A minus, and a C minus. I
Yeah,
think
something like that. Yeah.
something like that.
So I
Yeah.
just again I'm disappointed. I Hellboy. I want more artsy Hellboy. I think is what it is. But I don't know. All right,
All
what are
right.
we doing? What are we watching next episode? What are we gonna do?
All right. So we've been. Oh wait. Before we do that, I have a question. Have you seen the airbrush marker?
No,
There is, and this is for modelers in general. I saw it. I think I have mentioned in the past the HBI guy. He does cars. That's all he does. But he has like 170,000 followers, dude. So he gets stuff sent to him. There's an airbrush where you put like a marker inside, and it has a blow, and it blows ink off the marker, and
I've seen like a Crayola thing like that.
it dries instantly to the touch, just about.
Huh.
And it came out really nice. So go to
I'll check it out.
HBI guy's workshop, check it out and see what you think. I don't know. I don't think we could use it figure wise, but I
Yeah.
think any other things that we
Bill
might
said
like.
he saw that video. So
It's interesting. It was really interesting, and it really was strong. Like he was trying to chip at it a little bit, and it didn't come off. It was
cool.
impressive.
Cool. I'll check it out.
Okay, so
What are we
we've
watching?
been emailing, texting back and forth, talking. Like, what are we going to do next? And we kind of mentioned it last time. We were thinking about doing a series just to mix it up a little bit. And luckily, Amazon had a series that came out that's right up our alley, and it's The Bonds with Kevin Bacon. And I think there's 8 episodes. They're only 30 minutes long, so it's
Oh, cool. Okay.
not gonna be tough to watch. Basically, the general idea is uh he's in hell. A bunch of demons escape from hell, and Satan or whatever the devil sends him up to bring the demons back to hell.
Okay.
Kind of like a Ghost Rider type thing.
So we are going to try and watch the entire series of The Bondsman by the next episode.
4 whole hours.
So we'll get that done. Anything else you want to try and watch? So hey, Greg said it's fantastic. Raccoon I said just watch it. It's awesome. So okay, we're gonna watch The Bondsman.
There's always something.
Yeah, we'll probably, you know what? We'll leave it at that because that's a lot of watching.
Yeah.
And then we'll sneak in whatever other movies we can kind of get. Like we said, with summer coming up, there are some movies that we're gonna try and go see in the theater and then do like next day streams talking about them.
I just sent you a trailer for one that comes out in
That
August.
looks really good. I stopped the trailer because I didn't want to get ruined on anything.
I stopped it as well. I didn't get, but you know where it's going. But it
looked cool. So we'll announce some of those. I know one of them will be Superman.
Yes.
Fantastic Four, I'm not sure I want to pay for. So I don't know. Superman, I do want to see though. And there's a couple. Oh, you know what I want to watch, but I'm gonna wait till it comes out. I've heard nothing but good stuff. It's out now. Is Sinners, that a lot of people are saying is
my students
awesome.
have been talking about it.
Yeah, so I want to check that out. Maybe I can get to a theater and see that, but I'll probably end up just waiting for reasons till it gets here, and then till it gets on streaming or something. So
there's some movies on Max, and what did I just Companion was just on HBO, and I recorded it or DVR'd it, whatever, last week, and that's supposed to.
I saw some people talking about that.
Yeah, so maybe we could throw Companion in. How's that?
Oh, all right, we can try Companion.
But here's the thing: focus on The Bondsman.
Yep.
If we get to Companion, we get to it. If we don't, we don't.
Okay. All right, and then you know what we haven't talked about in a while, and then we'll let everybody go because I know you hate us by now. Greg said he watched the show in 2 days. Not bad. All right. So yeah, we'll get something else in there. We have not talked about Oak Island, and we're getting close to the end of this season.
Yes, we are.
And for people who are in chat who hate us for talking about Oak Island, we don't care.
No.
What are you thinking? What's your?
I didn't watch this week's episode yet.
Okay, I watched this one.
I'm up to this one.
They've gotten no farther. I'll tell you.
That's okay. They had the big giant cast that they were drilling down, and it flooded like everything, or it collapsed and all that. It seems like there's a giant hole under there. It's getting, it has been for a while, but it's getting frustrating because 2 years ago, 6 years ago, 8 years ago, and no one is jumping in year 12 on a series, and they keep showing the same.
Yeah. And I think that's my biggest beef with it is the way they edit the show, but they edit all of those shows like that, where they
Yeah,
repeat so much to make up for other. I'd rather have them make a 2-hour movie every year of like what they did, like a documentary style,
yeah.
which
I
they'll
mean,
never do because they make so much money doing it this way. Um, they did come across some things that they're going to Malta that links back to there, like where they think that they got the
they've been
treasures
all
from
everywhere.
Jerusalem, moved it to Malta, and then it might have ended up on Oak Island. They did find a really interesting bead this episode that is dated differently and made of different things that leads back to more Templar stuff. So, uh,
Like, it's they've. I mean, in all honesty, they have spent tens of millions of dollars, and they have found, in all honesty, nothing.
true. In terms of trade, I think they've found stuff that's very important,
It's interesting.
but most people won't care. But they could, like they say in the beginning of the show, it could rewrite history. Some of
But
the stuff they're finding.
can it?
Yeah.
They
If you find
found
out that the Knights Templar were actually here burying stuff before they were even supposed to be across the Atlantic, that
but
changes a lot of stuff.
people have believed that for a long time. I mean, there's
But if
that
they can
show.
find believed, but if they can find proof of like, we
There's
have definite proof that these people were here doing this stuff
out
long
in
before we thought.
out in Minnesota or somewhere. There's a show. It's on Science, I believe, the Science Channel. It's about the Vikings and the Runestone. I think it's called something like that. And there's the actor from Fargo who wood chippered his partner. That
Mm-hmm.
guy, he's the main guy. Like he's from over, and he's like taking his friend, and they're traveling around, and they find rocks with these things like there's things scratched in it that are way before. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's I think it's just that
But see,
people
that's what
just
I'm saying. Like, I think this could be the first step in that line of proof that stuff was going on here long before people thought stuff was happening. The other one is that really cool megalithic wall that they found in, I think, Montana that
yeah,
matches the walls down in South America. Like, that's cool. I want to read some more of the chat real quick. Uh,
HBO
Raccoon
project.
Eyes. I watched Companion twice. Loved it.
Yeah,
Francis, I don't care either. There's no treasure spoiler. Probably true. I
feels
gave
like
up on Oak Island a couple years ago. I feel so bad for them. They spend so much money, but I've adopted Top Pocket Find in my real life. I say it all the time.
I don't. And here, you know what also bothers me? That they call people who watch it acorns. Fuck
What?
you.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Now I'm mad. I didn't know that.
Because you know how they have Behind Oak
Yeah.
Island or
Yeah.
whatever. They're like, okay, acorns, let's.
Oh no. Francis said Eric the Red was here way before. Yes. Yes. But they're thinking the Templars actually hooked up with the Vikings and used the Vikings to get here, is what they said a few episodes ago. Anyway, on another topic, I heard someone say that Ghost are releasing a new album tonight. I love that band. They put the ABBA into the Black Sabbath. Oh God.
I think Predator Boobs is late. Yeah. That was the first 10 minutes of this show, which is why we're
Well,
still
no,
going.
yeah, it's Spike. That's
I know.
Go watch your Ghost stream. I don't care. Whatever.
I'm not.
They're gonna do some satanic stuff today. Ooh,
I
Ghost.
did. I did put on
They're
another
so
mask.
scary.
I did get some concerts I'm going to this year. I bought some concerts though.
Oh,
I can't.
where are you going?
Well, the one that what is it? What's a
Real quick. Sorry. Have you watched Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch? Yes, and I'm desperately waiting for it to come back up.
love it. I think that's better than Ancient Aliens. And
Yes.
yeah, I love that show. In fact, I there's that one and what is it? Not Secret of the Mystery of Frog Ranch is
Yeah,
the other.
Blind Frog Ranch.
That's a good show too. I
Yeah,
like it.
that's one I think is super fake, but I like it.
Yeah, yeah.
I like it. I think Skinwalker Ranch has a lot of real stuff going on there, though. That
I agree. And now that we talked about that, I can't remember what concerts. I'll
oh,
try to
sorry,
remember.
concerts.
That's okay. My brain.
Yeah,
My
we'll
brain.
do our summer concert round. I got some. I'm going to see a couple here too soon. So
We're going to 3 or 4. We're
I got
going to a
Max
lot.
Sabbath coming up in 2 weeks.
Who?
Max Sabbath. All right.
Who's that?
Really? Come on,
Yeah,
chat. No one else knows Max Sabbath? Really?
I know Black Sabbath. I've never heard
So
of
Max
Mac.
Sabbath is a parody band that does their own versions of Black Sabbath songs.
Hmm.
They all dress up like McDonald's characters, and
Oh,
they're all fast food characters. Like it's all.
I
Come
have.
on,
Okay.
Max Sabbath's awesome.
Didn't you see them a year or
Yes,
two ago?
I see them all the time. Every time they come to town, I try and go. So I got that coming. I got
Someone
Underworld
has
coming
too
up.
much.
I got something else too.
Oh, I
Oh,
know.
Funker Voight is playing.
We're seeing
Funker Vote.
the Black Keys and Gary Clark Jr. are playing in Cleveland. We're gonna go see that.
Cool.
That's one of them. I can't remember. We're in a month or so. There. Have you been on Facebook? Maybe you don't get it because you don't read books and talk about books all. But on Facebook, there's this traveling Poe themed speakeasy. Have you seen that Edgar Allan Poe speakeasy?
Here?
It travels around. It's all
I
over
think
the
it was
place.
just here, or I think I saw an ad for it for here.
Yeah, so it's coming to actually come to Lorraine, not even Cleveland, to
Okay,
a hotel downtown. Missy and I and
that
Amy,
sounded cool.
we're gonna go to that. And the way they do it is they tell four. It's 90 minutes. It's a show. They tell four of Poe's stories, and they give you. And I'm not a big drinker, so I might have to have Missy drive because I will be under the table. Um, four drinks for each of the story. One drink for each of the four stories that has a theme that goes with the story. So like the pale blue eye or that kind of thing. It looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're
Cool.
gonna have
All the bands are skipping Cleveland this summer. Trevor, who did you want to see? Who's skipping? And Jason, you should go and see Kentucky Dyed Chicken. Yes, that sounds awesome. What is that?
is that a band?
What?
Oh yeah, another band. Uh, who do you want? Yeah, I wanted to see the Foo Fighters again. I like them. I enjoy the
I
Foo
saw them
Fighters.
once.
I've seen them 3 or 4 times. They're always a
Yeah,
good show.
the only one I'm really like the band I've never gotten to see that's coming here in a couple weeks next week is Funker Voigt. Funker Vote. Funker Vote. From Germany. They're an industrial band.
Dude, okay, let me tell you. Volbeat, yes. Hailstorm, yes. I don't care about Papa Roach. The Warning, yes. Dude, we've got the same music taste, and I agree. They should be coming here.
I don't
You
know
know,
any of those bands. I know
you know
Papa
Volbeat.
Roach. Are those that put the bodies on the floor people?
You know, you know Volbeat because I told you to listen. They're the Danish
Oh,
rock
yeah,
band
yeah.
that sent you. Hailstorm is Lizzie Hale. She's a female lead singer. She's easy on the eye. Redhead.
Is the Warning an 80s band?
They've been around for a while. I don't know how long though.
Or is that the Fall? What am I thinking of?
But
The
yeah,
Alarm.
those
I'm
are
thinking of The Alarm.
but three of those four, I would not see Papa. But the three of the four, I agree. Volbeat is fantastic too. Volbeat is good. The
Yeah.
devil's bleeding crowd.
All right. Well, with that, I think we're done. Thank you, everyone, for being here once again. Next episode, like we said, it will be The Bondsman and Companion if we have time.
Hey, it's gonna be what, the week before Wonderfest?
It will be the week before Wonderfest. So we'll figure it out either the week before or 2 weeks before, depending on
how it plays
how
out.
things are going, because things are going to be super busy. And then we will have, again, end of June, we'll have another live stream thing. So, and then Scott and I will do our live stream after Wonderfest, and we'll have our live stream after that. So it's going to be a busy couple months here. So thank you, everybody, for coming. We appreciate it and putting up and listening to it.
We'll probably do more.
Yeah, definitely. So like when Superman comes out, I want to do like a day after we both go see it kind of stream or something.
And I'm planning on going opening night that Thursday if I can. So, but I mean that's because I'm nuts.
Thank you, Francis. I appreciate that.
Yes, thanks, buddy. Because I'm a super freak. So
yeah, you are. Well, I mean, we'll talk about it. We got to go. We spent too much time. All right, we love everybody. Thank you so much. New episode comes out Tuesday, I think. Wednesday? Is that the 30th? Wednesday, I think. One of these days coming up. So, yeah, Wednesday. New episode Wednesday. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Predator Boobs, Trevor, Francis, everybody, Greg. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I even have to say that. We appreciate everybody coming here. I want to say that again. We didn't think anyone would stick around for the live stream. We're happy a couple people do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's fun.
It is fun.
Thank you, guys.
It's fun. It saves us a lot of time and it's super fun. So, all right. We'll see everybody next time. Everyone have a great night, great week, a great weekend coming up. Stay safe out there. It's crazy. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.